The Life and Ministry of Samuel C. Hornbrook. Sam was born in Petersburg, Indiana in 1933. His father owned an auto mechanic shop, and from the time he was very young, Sam worked on cars. His knowledge of mechanics has been useful in serving the Lord to this day. At the age of 15, Sam attended an evangelistic campaign where he understood that he was a sinner and he accepted salvation by faith in Jesus Christ. In high school, he played trombone in the orchestra. He also played in a band, hoping to become a professional musician. But God had other plans. Sam attended a week of summer camp where God changed the direction of his life. He was convinced that God was calling him into full-time ministry. He enrolled at Cedarville College in Ohio, where he met Ellen Smith. They were married on June 3, 1955. 2 years later, while in a church planting ministry in Washington, Indiana, they received an invitation from missionaries Rod and Connie Nicely to work with them in Mexico. With their 1-year-old son, Stephen, the Hornbrooks arrived in Cuauhtemoc, Chihuahua, Mexico in 1958. A church was planted and a Bible Institute established during their 5 years of ministry there. Sam also preached in ranches surrounding the city. On one occasion, the Hornbrook van was showered with stones to chase them out of a village, and on another occasion, Sam was threatened that he would be killed if he ever returned to preach to a certain ranch. With their trust in the Lord, Sam and Ellen continued the work without harm. In Cuauhtemoc, 3 more sons were added to the Hornbrook family: David, Sammy, and John. In 1963, Sam and Ellen joined Baptist in Missions and were asked to work with the team of missionaries in a different area of Mexico. Although they left Cuauhtemoc with heavy hearts, the Hornbrooks were convinced that the Lord was leading them. They moved to hot and humid Poza Rica, Veracruz to work with Otis and Beulah Pinkston, Betty Guthrie, Lois Jackson, and others on the Baptist Missions team. In 1965, their daughter Debbie was born. The Lord blessed their efforts in helping start a Bible Institute and planting churches. In 1968, the Gethsemane Baptist Church was started in teamwork with Tom and Muriel Calhoun. At the same time, Sam trained and worked with pastor and close friend Pablo de la Garza and his wife Elsa to start a church in Plan de Ayala. In 1970, the year their son Jimmy was born, Sam turned over a group of home Bible studies he had in a middle-class neighborhood of Poza Rica to Otis and Beulah Pinkston so that the Hornbrooks could take a furlough. The Pinkstons began having Sunday services in their home, and this was the beginning of Emmanuel Baptist Church. Years later, the Hornbrooks would be invited to come back to this church. For many years, Sam's main responsibility was directing the Bible Institute, but he and Ellen also helped start churches in many towns near Poza Rica. From 1978 to 1980, they worked with Jorge and Rebecca Cuadrado to start a church in the town of Papantla. After that, they planted Adonai Baptist Church in another neighborhood of Poza Rica as a daughter church of Emmanuel Baptist Church. Starting in 1982, Sam and other missionaries were invited by pastors from the indigenous villages that speak the Totonac language to teach them, since they had no formal training at all. Dozens of village pastors have been trained through modules, conferences, and a video Bible school that Sam administrates. Sam and Ella moved to Pachuca, Hidalgo to fill in for Tom and Nancy Jessup to take over their church planting ministry in 1989, and after 4 years, moved back to Poza Rica. In 1998, Emmanuel Baptist Church of Poza Rica asked that Sam come back to be their interim pastor since they had gone through a difficult decline and were without a pastor. By the grace of God, the years since then have been full of great blessing and fruit, as Emmanuel Baptist has become a strong model church with 3 graduated daughter churches, 4 current mission works, a radio program, a coffee shop ministry, and an institute. Sam still serves as pastor of counseling. Ivan Bernal is the head pastor, and they have 2 assistant full-time pastors as well as 2 lay pastors. In January of 2011, the Lord called Ellen to her heavenly home. Sam and Ellen are great examples to all who know them of what it means to serve the Lord faithfully, recognizing when they fail, depending on the Lord to continue using them by His grace and for the building of His church, all for the glory of God.